Hello and welcome back to the Hearthstone Alphabet Tournament Basic League. We are in the finals. Today's game, E versus O, the warrior versus the priest. Just to remind you of the rules one last time, cards, for them to be legal, must contain in their card name the letter of their deck. Basic set only. All class cards that are available must be used. The classes chosen to represent each letter were chosen originally based on which class had the most amount of legal class cards available, and for this series it will be a best of 5 rather than a best of 3, so RNG is less of a factor, so we can find the true winner and the best letter in the alphabet. Having a look at the deck list to remind you of what these decks are packing. The warrior deck, a good all-round, got some very strong minions, got some board control, got some card draw, it's been working really well. The priest, I initially wouldn't have bet it getting this far, but seeing it play out, it makes total sense. It's got a lot of really good early control tools with the Shadow Words, the Holy Novas, has a little bit of card draw, and then in the late game it is an absolute powerhouse with the mind controls. So the warrior's going to want to be on the aggressive, do as much damage as it can early on, get as many of those weapon swings to face, and close out the game before those mind controls can take over the Boulder Fist Ogres. With that all said, let's get into the first game. Okay, game number 1. It's a pretty good hand for the warrior there. Maybe get rid of the Reckless Rocketeer, draw something a bit lower, but I think you keep both the weapons because it's going to be really important that you have them this game. The priest hand looking quite slow. Does have the Holy Smite for the Bloodfen Raptor, and now draws a Pain. Would you rather have a Pain or a Smite for the Raptor? The warrior deck does not have Gurubashi Berserkers in it, so I think you actually use the Pain here, and then you can use Holy Smite, possibly with spell power, to kill a full health minion. Going in with Bloodfen. We'll see what the priest does. So I'm going for Pain here. The other option is to play the Rosefen Hunter, which would be very good for the warrior because he'll be able to value trade with the cleric. Was thinking about Pain, but then thinking again.
I wonder.
And ultimately chooses the Pain. Very good. So what can the warrior do to respond? Maybe even coin out the Corcron just to get 4 damage in. Obviously 4 damage minions are being very difficult for the... Oh no! Because of the Holy Smite. Oh, this worked out really well for the priest. That Pain decision was huge. Can Holy Smite that very convincingly. And then has enough mana for the Rosefen Hunter. It's unfortunate for the warrior. It's probably going to have to use Fiery War Axe. Get rid of this 2-3. Has a lot of free drops, but not very good. Wants 2 2-drops, I think, would rather. Wishing the Fiery War Axe was unnerved. Never mind. Let's go into turn 5. Maybe even just play the Frostwall. It's a nice big minion. A bit harder to deal with. We could see the charge being used with perhaps the blood. And then swinging as well, but with that Bloodfen Raptor you might just want to curve out, put that down and then buff it up with Cleric. No, it does choose to go with the charge play. Targets the boar though. Interesting. This could be a mistake because the priest has the power word infusion. It says astonishing. Was that a misplay? I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, it has the power infusion, so this could really backfire. It's really going to want to draw an execute. The priest instead chooses to go for the 4-drop to create a stronger board presence, and is able to heal that up, so opted to go for 2 decently sized minions over 1 big one. Considering the warrior's hand, think he would have rather gone for the Power Infusion, but maybe the priest was purposely playing around Execute, which I think is totally fair enough. Has to buff this Ogre now if it wants to survive against the next Arcanite Reaper swing. And also does 6 damage to the warrior's face, which puts the warrior at turn 6 quite low. Reckless Rocketeer is good to get rid of this. It's going to take another 6 damage though. And the Priest's aggression isn't stopping because he's got Stormwind Champion next turn. Getting ever closer to that mind control turn. If the warrior does play a load of small minions, that Holy Nova is going to do some work. Can he kill this champion this turn? He's 1 mana off being able to Reckless Rocketeer and then Cleric the Rocket. So instead choosing to just go all in on the base, just ignoring the Stormwind Champion. We'll have the Execute for it next turn, which will be helpful. In that case, I think he would have rather played the Raptor and Cleric, but I think it's maybe holding off for turn 9 to play the Rocketeer and Cleric. I think the Priest should trade here because it is in total control, and if it doesn't, that Raise Van Hunter is also going to die. Chooses to go fully aggressive. What can the warrior draw? Another charge. That's quite... Oh, it's not going to have enough mana to also charge the Cleric. So it shouldn't change that much. What's going on here? Is he choosing to ignore the champion? Oh no, he's going for the Execute play. Keeping the Cleric Rocket combo alive. He's perhaps buffing that so it's out of Holy Nova range. It's not going to work though. Not going to work. So a really strong Holy Nova there. And the Priest is getting quite good with these card draws. Always has a minion to put down after clearing the board. Which means the warrior has been totally on the defensive this entire game. And because of that, and because having to clear the board with weapons a lot, it's just taken so much damage in the process. Those valuable weapon swings have not gone face. I just don't think the warrior at this point can even deal 30 damage to the priest without. And in that time the priest has managed to heal all the way back up to full. Maybe just swings at the priest for 9 just to... more of a frustration swing. It's like, ah, I've lost this. Priest draws another good minion. He's going to get Arcanite Reapered, but that's fine because it still will do the 5 damage. Chooses to Rocketeer. So the warrior does still have both Boulder Fists in the deck, but the priest has both Mind Controls. So what other big minions does the warrior have? Hawk-on Elise, not big, but it's something. As I say, it's going to really struggle to do 30 damage now at this stage in the game. The priest just dominating. Are there any outs here? You can armor up, you're not totally dead. It's forced to use the Reaper on a 2/4, feels bad. Again, another great draw from the priest, Stormwind Champion. Does it finish off? No, because the Holy Smite only now targets minions, as does the Holy Nova. Back in the day, That would have been a lot of burst. I think this might be game though. Yeah, cleric will not be good enough. Looks like the priest takes a very convincing game number 1. Okay, game number 2. Cleave not terribly useful against the priest, as the priest doesn't have too many 2 health minions. Draws an Eldritch Eventer and a charge. And it's healthier than it was before, but it's not ideal. Also on Commander's not bad to play on free. The priest's hand looking very good for the early game. Holy Nova's 2 pains and a minion. He's not worried at all. Probably, yeah, just may coin out the Razor Van Hammer for some tempo, but I can see just, yeah, just playing the react game and then turn things around in the mid to late game. Warrior playing the Warsaw Commander, hopefully we'll buff it up next turn. That will be floating 1 mana. Well, won't be buffing anything up anymore. So in that case, you play a Gnomish Inventor for sure. Has drawn both of them early on, so we'll be able to keep up pressure with the card size, hand size, giving the warrior lots of options. Has drawn both Arcanite Reapers, so we'll use the first one perhaps inefficiently because it knows it has the second one for later when it needs it. Chooses to go with the Nightblade, I guess because it trades quite favourably with the Kobold. But of course the Power Infusion proving to be a very good card. Makes a really nice trade there. Now how does the warrior respond? I think this... Oh! Draws the execute off the inventor, which is quite nice. Chooses to use the Heroic Strike. The MVP card in the early games has seen less inspiring action since then. The priest choosing to go for the wider board now. Warrior looking quite a good spot this game compared to the last one. Just looking at the priest's hand. Okay, so surely it's time for the Arcanite Reaper. Take out that 4/4. Shattered Sun, the... Oh, he doesn't have enough mana. 1 mana off. So it's basically a 5-drop on Bluff and Raptor. I think you just got to leave the 2/3 up. I don't think there's any way around it. Possibly... Yep, I think that's about as good as you could do. The Stormwind champion coming down, very powerful 1/1 buff, able to now let the Razor Van value trade. Puts the warrior in not too bad a position, can clear the board with execute, running the Bloodflame Raptor into the Stormwind. Ooh, what's up? Ah, it's choosing to charge the Nightblade instead. It's fair enough. It takes more damage this way, but has a stronger board presence, which I think is fair enough. We may see the Mind Visions come this turn. Very likely to draw a weapon, and it does, and he gets the better weapon. Ah, that is huge for the priest. That's just 1 extra control tool, and the priest can even heal some of the damage it takes. That's really good. I guess so can the warrior with armor up. Yeah. Ignore that. But now whatever the warrior plays is going to get killed by the Arcanite Reaper. Answering the priest weapon with his own axe. Swings straight at the priest. So with this weapon and the other two weapons, that's 6, that's 11. So presuming the priest doesn't heal anything, which it will, it doesn't need to deal too much more damage with minions. Can deal with this champion with the cleric and execute. And then swing for 9 at face, leaving the priest only on 10. Doesn't have any minions to play after that, which is unfortunate. Perhaps can draw one. No, oh, you really wanted a minion there. That is unfortunate. Choosing to go full aggressive. This could backfire because of the priest's ability to heal. And as soon as the big minion comes down, mind control's there. The Holy Nova does heal itself as well. I really think should have gone for the execute play there. I really do. Perhaps he would have if he didn't draw the axe and draw a minion instead. Now the priest has a very strong board, and the warrior's not too high in health either. Because now if he wants to get rid of his champion, he's going to have to swing into it. Doesn't have enough damage. Does still have 2 Reckless Rocketeers in his deck. Maybe he was really counting on drawing them. But I think he's also gone through both shield blocks, so there's not, and definitely gone through both inventors, so there's not too much card draw left in the deck. The priest's getting wider and wider. There's pretty much no way to deal with this. A very big Frost Wolf comes down, that is lethal next turn. So the warrior has to do 10 damage. Has to draw the Rocketeer. Draws the Rocketeer, but it's not enough. Can give it charge, but is 1 off lethal. No. Could the warrior have found 1 damage earlier on in the game? I can't remember, but that is unfortunate. So close, yet so far. The priest takes game number 2. Okay, game number 3. Will the priest sweep the finals, or is this the beginning of the warrior's epic comeback? Let's find out. Very aggressive start for the warrior with the weapons. The priest's probably going to mind. Does get a weapon but doesn't get the Reaper, just gets the Fiery War Axe. Still pretty good from my visions. Can even answer this Bloodfen with the axe. I think that's quite a solid play. Chooses instead to go for the Holy Smite. Fair enough. Seeing how strong they were against the Corcoran Elite, I think, I would have preferred to save it for that. The Boulderfist Ogre finally makes an appearance. Where have you been? Having a snooze. Well, it might be too late now, Mr. Ogre. The priest choosing to coin out a Dragonling mechanic to finally create a bit of board presence. And if one of those minions survives, it's a very good target for Power Infusion. Power Infusion proving to be very good against this warrior. Wouldn't have been so good if the warrior had drawn the executes at the right time, stuff like that, but the way things have worked out, it has been a powerful card this series. Choose to go straight face. This is interesting. Maybe he's just going to go, because he's got the Rocketeer, just 2 swings from the axe, 2 swings from the other axe, the bigger axe, and then a Rocketeer, and is hoping that will just finish it, take the priest by surprise. The priest does have the Holy Nova, so that is a little bit of healing, and the Kobold Geomancer, and the Ogre, so that would be 4 if they were both on the board. Gets the other axe. I guess he's got no minions, so it's either go face or just slow out the game, and in a slow game the priest has proven itself to be pretty strong. Thing is, with the warrior not clearing the board, he's just taken just as much damage, if not more. Corcoran Elite furthering the warrior's plan here. It's a nice draw. It's going to be, that's 9 damage to those two together. And can arm. Finally diverts from the plan. The 4 damage Ogre Magi was too much of a threat. But it does still leave the Priest on 12. Another Mind Visions. Could get another weapon. Has kind of spotted the Warrior's game plan, I think, and is now healing every turn. Does get the Arcanite Reaper. These Mind Visions have been crazy this game. The Priest probably feeling pretty smug about this. What a way to maybe win the series with the Warrior's own weapons. It's a Battle Priest. Puts on a... Does have 2 Reckless Rocketeers. This is a lot of burst from the Warrior. The issue is, will he have enough health to survive? The Priest draws its 2nd Holy Nova. Perhaps next turn, 2 Holy Novas. That'll heal for if the Kobold's still alive, that would be 6 healing. That would be very clutch at this stage. I think, yeah, realise it's so low that it can't play the Stormwind Champion. And does choose to Holy Nova for just extra healing. No? Surely. No, chooses to go aggressive instead. The Warrior is going to be... If the Warrior draws a Heroic Strike, he can win this. Oh, it's 1 mana off! Can't buff up the Rocketeer with the Cleric. Can't clear the board. Can't armor up enough. And that's going to be it. The Warrior tried. It believed in the hull of the cards. And it just was not enough. Perhaps those mind gaming the weapons won it for the Priest this game. I think that allowed the Priest to do as much damage as the Warrior was putting out as well. Wow. So that will be the end of the Warrior's career.
Well played.
Well played. And the Priest kills the Warrior with his own axe for the lethal. Poetic. Priest takes game number 3, takes the series and wins the tournament. So there we have it. Priest at the top of the leaderboard. It was a surprise to me. I would not have bet on that. I was betting on either the E deck or the L deck. Obviously seeing that they had to face off, only one could go into the finals. Did the Priest get an easy ride, having to take on the Paladin in the quarterfinals, which wasn't one of the better decks? Who knows? Perhaps. I think maybe if the Priest had gone against the Rogue S deck, things could have been very different. But there we are. That's how things played out. But will O be the best in the next league? Who knows? So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. It's nice to see some of the older cards get their moment to shine. If you've got any suggestions, comments, feel free to leave them. And this is me and the O deck saying thank you for watching. Take care.